Without a doubt, mass immigration from certain countries is contributing to Britain's cities being turned into lawless hellos. All our other cities are going down the same drain as London. I recently started to notice it with my own eyes. I've been in Leeds city centre in the north of England every night for the last few weeks, and I've witnessed loads of antisocial behaviour, all of it from foreign boys. It's clearly degrading our cities. It's so sad to see once nice places reduced to this. Groups of boys speaking in foreign languages rampaging through the streets are now a common sight. We've already got feral children here causing havoc. It's total madness to import more. I've seen groups of boys, whether from Albania, Romania, the Middle East, or Africa, behaving in intimidating antisocial ways. They have absolutely no respect for our culture or customs. Police are never anywhere to be seen. It's starting to feel like I'm in downtown LA at times, not the north of England. Last night at about 7 p.m, I met someone I know after work, and we heard a massive bang and loads of commotion around the corner. It was like a bomb going off. My first thought was a terrorist attack. The next minute, a group of black boys come running around the corner, and one of them has a tube around 2 foot long in his hand that is firing fireworks up into the sky. They were about 13 or 14 years old and speaking what seemed like some kind of African dialect I couldn't understand. They were running down the streets towards us, but he did have it facing up, so the rockets were exploding into the sky. But then he suddenly threw it on the floor around 15 yards away from us and ran off. I then said, come on, let's move on, because I wasn't sure if there were any more rockets in it, and if there were, they'd now be firing out horizontally. It was very intimidating for all those who saw it. 2 nights earlier, I saw a confrontation between 2 gangs of youths. I can't be sure if they were Romanian or Middle Eastern or what. They exchanged punches when one reached into his back pocket to pull a knife out. At that point, I stopped observing and walked into the supermarket. I've also seen what I think were Romanian boys cycling around the centre, stealing phones from people's hands. Cultural practices they've brought along with them from their wonderful homelands. I'm seeing before my very eyes a city centre descending into a lawless hellhole. Yes, there have always been antisocial drunk thugs on a Friday and Saturday night after the bars close. But now I'm seeing these freshly imported young thugs turning the city into a no-go zone at 6 p.m. on a Wednesday evening. I've seen similar stuff in Manchester and Birmingham, but didn't expect to see it up here. This madness is of our own doing. This behaviour is clearly a product of their own country. There is a large Chinese student population in the city, and yet I don't see any of them rampaging through the streets. Never seen one instance of antisocial behaviour from them. It seems they are all model law-abiding citizens. Obviously, they are just here to get a good education. Students here to study is one thing and for another discussion, but how is allowing groups of teenage boys from places like Romania, Eritrea, Afghanistan, and God knows wherever else to come here in our best interest? And why is it our responsibility to import them? We're absolutely suicidal. But to be suicidal means you want to die, and there is plenty in this country who want to see the death of Britain. Mass immigration is their preferred method of suicide. Remember this?
The British people deserve to know which party is serious about stopping the invasion on our southern coast and which party is not. Some 40,000 people have arrived on the south coast this year alone, many of them facilitated by criminal gangs, some of them actual members of criminal gangs. So let's stop pretending that they are all refugees in distress. The whole country knows that that is not true, and it's only the honourable members opposite who pretend otherwise.
It really is starting to look like the word invasion is the correct word to describe this. Unfortunately, she is all bark and no bite. How long before a once nice city centre becomes a lawless hellhole and people start to avoid it? Decent, law-abiding people will start staying away from the city centre because of our suicidal immigration policy. It really is starting to feel like they are taking over. And for all the condemnation of Braverman for using that word, she's been proved right. Foreign students, like all the Chinese ones I see, pay an absolute fortune to come all the way to Britain and study. Our universities are world renowned and a British degree has high prestige attached to it. It'll get them a really good job back in China and the respect of their families. Many families there spend a lifetime saving so their children get that opportunity. Yet, here we have asylum seeker boys allowed to come here for free. Well, not free for us, as we pay for them. Regardless of what they have been through, they are now given a chance at a better life in Britain, a place where they can get an education and make something of themselves. A chance at life they would never get had they stayed in Romania, Afghanistan, or Somalia. And yet, here they are on the streets behaving like this. I have said before, we need to stop importing these people. We've proven with the earthquake in Turkey, we can help people without the insanity of them all flooding into Britain.